Hello everyone. In order to look like a Hollywood actor, you don't necessarily have to turn to a plastic surgeon, work out 24/7 and count every calorie. Today, it's easier than that. Just take your smartphone, install an app and get the body of your dreams in just a couple of clicks. Just like that and everyone will be absolutely in love with you. Just try not to bend a door accidentally while you're drawing your perfect waist. You must have seen some of these addition fails online. Surprisingly, some people manage to build a whole career in bodybuilding on lies. Yes, it's hard to believe it, but we have living proof of that. By the way, if it's your first time on our channel, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the most curious facts about lots of things. Let's get it on. Kirill Tereshin. This guy became famous all over the world thanks to his unusual physical shape. And also because the internet loves these kind of stories. In Russia, his motherland, he's known as Bazooka Arms. But in English-speaking countries, people compared him to Popeye, the famous cartoon character. You must know of this sailor who eats spinach all the time and has disproportionately developed strong arms. But Popeye was a fictional character, while this guy is real. Kirill became popular a couple of years ago. Like many other guys his age, he wanted to be fit, but he didn't want to eat chicken breasts and drink protein shakes all the time. So he came up with a better plan. Kirill bought petroleum oil, heated it, and injected it into his muscles. Not the best idea, dear Kirill. It was obvious to everyone except Kirill himself that his body would not tolerate having weird substances inside for a long time. Indeed, soon his body simply began to reject the substance. As a result, the Russian Popeye had his triceps cut out. They weighed about 1.5 kilograms along with the oil. Thanks to the efforts of the surgeons, the guy's arms continue to slowly deflate, but of course they still don't look healthy. Kenny O'Neill. By the way, the substance that Kirill Tereshin injected into his muscles is known as synthol among bodybuilders. It's basically oil with painkillers. Wannabe bodybuilders inject it deep into their muscles, where the solution partially dissolves, but most of it gets trapped in the body for several years. You probably understand how dangerous this is, especially when you consider that the injections are done at home. A single error can lead to nerve damage, which might cause paralysis of the entire muscle. And this is the best case scenario. Despite the fact that this kind of bodybuilding for lazy people is obviously a dangerous idea, it is fairly popular. Canadian bodybuilder Kenny O'Neill, for example, has been recently mocked online for this. At a show, he appeared looking very strange. It looked as if he had a ball joint inserted into his shoulders like a doll. The athlete himself claimed, however, that he'd never used synthol or implants, and his deltoid muscle acquired such an unusual shape due to an infection. Do you think that human shoulders can really inflate like this in a couple of days? Tell us what you think in the comments. Edouard Gheur. Bodybuilders argue whether or not it's okay to take muscle supplements. Some believe that without them, you can't have the body of your dreams, while some consider them a poison that slowly destroys your body. Of course, we won't pretend to be fitness experts, but the next story will be a great example. A few years ago, former bodybuilder Edouard Gheur from the UK nearly died after his aorta split. The athlete was in the prime of his life, so why would something like this happen to him? Well, turns out that the guy had been taking steroids for 15 years. After all this time, Edouard was basically an addict and he couldn't train without a dose. This time, he almost didn't make it. He's lucky to be alive, but other side effects of his steroid diet haunted him for many years. He had to struggle with acne and abrupt mood swings. So remember guys, if something gives quick results, it's almost never good. Tony Geraldo and Alvaro Pereira. These brothers from Brazil are known there as Hulk and Conan. The size of their muscular bodies is really impressive. The circumference of their biceps is about 70 centimeters. Some models have waists smaller than that. On social media, people often accuse them of using synthol. Just look at them. These huge biceps look really strange next to the much smaller shoulders. But the Brazilian bodybuilders firmly reject these theories, although they do openly admit that they have been using steroids for almost 3 decades for active muscle growth. And of course, they eat a very balanced diet, about 5,000 or 6,000 calories a day, eating a dozen bananas and 6 eggs in one sitting. That's nothing for Hulk and Conan. So far, the brothers haven't suffered any consequences. Despite their love for dangerous substances, they keep idolizing Arnold Schwarzenegger and scaring new visitors in their favorite gym. However, it's worth admitting that Schwarzenegger's body has always looked much more natural. Tyler Jackson. We bet that you can't guess how old the guy in this video is. Probably about 20, right? Maybe he's a sophomore. That's what we thought too, so we were shocked when we found out the truth. Famous bodybuilder Tyler Jackson from the USA is only 15 years old in these pictures. His life story, to be honest, is quite sad. He started exercising because he didn't like his body, but he got a little carried away in the process. He started using steroids, which turned the skinny teenager into a real-life Hulk. To be fair, Arnold Schwarzenegger, the idol of many bodybuilders, started his journey in a very similar way. In his youth, he was very insecure, so he began to work out early and took steroids from the age of 15. The only difference is that at that time, there was no internet or online haters. Brad Castleberry. Social media allows you to be whoever you want. All you have to do is come up with an idea and then provide your followers with the right content. People have already invented many tools to maintain the illusion, from skillful editing technologies to renting business jets for beautiful Instagram photos. Here's one of such stories for you. We promise it'll be good. This is Brad Castleberry. In the past, he was quite a successful football player. When his career was over, he didn't want to give up his popularity, so he decided to find something new to do. That's how he became one of the most famous and controversial bodybuilders in the world. Why does the strongman get so much criticism every day though? Well, basically he uploads videos lifting 7 plates weighing 300 kilograms, which is more than some world records. The problem is that never in his life has he performed in powerlifting competitions. Doesn't it sound a little suspicious? Definitely does. Many experts believe that the plates Brad lifts in the video are fake. Sajad Gharibi. Apparently, every country in the world has its own Hulk, and sometimes more than one. This bodybuilder grew up in Iran, and his progress is followed by almost 500,000 people on Instagram. Impressive, isn't it? Most bodybuilders only dream of having such shoulders. Sadly, not everything that shines is gold. Gharibi himself claims that in order to have such impressive muscles, he has to eat up to 10 times a day. But he can't eat anything he wants. He has to consume lots of protein in all its shapes and forms, and supposedly, he doesn't use any muscle enhancers. But if you look at Gharibi's arms and hips, you'll notice that they look a little unnatural, as usually happens in the case of testosterone abuse. The bodybuilder also loves editing. On some pictures you can see his chest stretched out a little, while on others he's narrowed his waist. Unfortunately, almost all Instagram stars use similar tricks. Gracyanne Barbosa. It's no secret that Brazilian models are famous for their rears, and bodybuilder Gracyanne Barbosa is no exception. This Instagram superstar decided to focus on her derriere. It's not surprising that her achievements are followed by several million people. However, not all of them believe that her body's actually a result of hours of training. Moreover, many believe that the plates she's lifting aren't real either. In fact, anyone who's ever worked with weights in the gym will immediately notice something weird in Gracyanne's videos. For example, in some of them, the woman allegedly does a 225 kilogram squat. However, there's no protection on her neck, which is completely unacceptable. No matter how strong the athlete is, the iron would put pressure on her skin. In addition, she almost doesn't rest, doesn't tremble, doesn't strain or even sweat much. And there are two options. Either we're looking at a new Marvel superhero, or the woman is using at least a couple of fake plates. Rodrigo Ferraz. Brazilian bodybuilder Rodrigo Ferraz clearly thought he looked really cool when he filmed himself dancing to the famous track Satisfaction by Benny Benassi back in 2009. But he couldn't have known that he was about to become a worldwide meme, and internet users would give him the unflattering nickname of Synthol Man. The athlete's shoulders and pecs do look a little suspicious, although he's never confirmed any speculations about any injections. Well, according to the video, he became a muscular guy just by dancing at home to the 2000s pop hits. Jedlica. We wouldn't call our next guest a real athlete. Let's just say that his main goal in life is to look perfect. Many people compare the American model to Ken, and with each new operation, he really looks more like the famous plastic toy. Justin's example proves that if you have money, you can do anything. Today, with the help of surgeons and modern equipment, you can draw anything on your body. Six-pack abs, perfect cheekbones, and a muscular back. He got the latter in 2017. It was his 550th surgery. Special implants were inserted into Justin's back. At that time, the model has already spent about $560,000 to modify his own body. Wait, what? Oh, that's right. Valdir Segato. Why many bodybuilders only want to have huge biceps? If you know the answer to this question, share it with us, because frankly speaking, we have no idea. The bazooka arms of this Brazilian bodybuilder look even more ridiculous than those of his Russian colleague from the beginning of the video, although they use the same method, good old synthol. Romario dos Santos Alves. By the way, Kirill Tereshin was inspired by a Brazilian bodybuilder, another self-proclaimed Hulk. Romario dos Santos Alves trained for a long time in the gym, trying to be like his favorite superhero. However, he soon realized that it's impossible to achieve such forms only through exercise, so he also decided to turn to injections. Since then, doctors have repeatedly warned him about the risk of amputation, and Romario had to stop injecting himself. However, the effect of synthol is still visible. Sadly, it motivates other naive athletes to follow this example, and those who have experienced it claim that once you try it, it's very difficult to stop, because the substance can cause addiction. Arlindo de Souza. Nothing new, just another Brazilian injecting himself with synthol. Although it's not just synthol. Arlindo de Souza from the state of Pernambuco followed the advice of a friend, mixed oil and alcohol and pumped that into his own muscles. And he was able to get the largest biceps in the country, more than 70 centimeters in circumference. But he now lives at a risk of amputation, and his friend died from a similar procedure. We want to believe that Arlindo will be smarter and will stop in time, accepting his body as it was conceived by nature. Hold on a second. Do you want to see some crazy stories from real life? Nothing dull, only action, only adventures, chases and fights, love confessions and sudden betrayals. Don't believe us? Well, follow the link and see for yourselves. Our animation channel Private Diary reveals the deepest secrets. Don't forget to subscribe.